What's going on, guys? Krusty K's here from the Gold Boys Network, coming to you with the MLB slate preview for Friday, September 6th. Before we hop into this, I want to remind you guys you can get all of these odds at FanDuel Sportsbook. But let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into this one. So the first one we have, it is a solo afternoon day game. The New York Yankees taking on the Chicago Cubs. Luis Gil versus Jordan Wicks. The Yankees at a minus 150. Yeah, I'll take that. Yankees money line minus 150. Obviously, we know the Cubs been swinging it decently well here. I think Jordan Wicks loses his ass in this game, to put it bluntly. Yankees on the money line here. I don't think there's any other way. Our next one, the Colorado Rockies taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Ryan Feltner versus Frankie Montas. So this is a gross pick. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. But Frankie Montas, 4 strikeouts, and the Brewers money line is minus 110 right now. We're taking that. It's absolutely disgusting. But Frankie Montas against the Rockies, who strike out against everyone, is going to certainly find us 4 strikeouts here. And he's going to certainly pitch better than Ryan Feltner. I like Milwaukee against Feltner a lot here. The bats against righties have been considerably better than they are against lefties. Think they get him going here. Excuse me. Think they get us some run support. And I think Frankie Montas pitches relatively well. It's the Rockies team you could be aggressive against. They're not swinging the bats well. And ultimately think that, bodes well for Frankie here. Our next one, the Washington Nationals taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. DJ Hers versus Luis Ortiz. So this is a pick that I don't normally take a lot, but we're going to go with the Yerfie. Yes, runs in the first inning. And I'm going to tell you why. If you ever watch DJ Hers, this guy cannot pitch in the first inning. I don't know what it is. He can't throw strikes. He can't get anybody out. There will be 2 guys on base before you blink. Okay, I don't know what it is. I've watched this guy's last 4 or 5 starts. It is incredible that he cannot pitch in the first inning. Don't know what it is. Okay, so whether we get a run from the Pirates early or we get a run from the Nationals in the first inning, someone is scoring a run. Give me the yes runs in the first inning, the Yerfie. Our next one, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Shane Baz, and currently the Orioles have yet to announce a starter. It doesn't really matter to me, though. For me, it's going to be the Orioles. Orioles at home, it's a wagon. It's a wagon. Against righties, they've been unbelievable. Shane Baz, obviously, we all know. I mean, he has good stuff. But this is just a brutal matchup for him. Going to see a ton of lefties, as we all know. I think this Orioles team gets to him early. Hopefully, we get somebody halfway decent on the mound. They're priced at a minus 130, so might be like a bullpen game for them. But regardless of what it is, I think Baltimore gets the win here. Give me the Orioles on the money line. Our next one, the Chicago White Sox taking on the Boston Red Sox. Davis Martin versus Nick Pivetta. I actually like the under here, oddly enough. Davis Martin's pitched really well for this White Sox team. A lot better than I could have predicted, truthfully. Obviously, tough matchup, but he throws a changeup. It's been pretty good. I think this Boston team will struggle against it a little bit. So I like him to pitch relatively well. Pivetta, I think he just kind of owns this White Sox team, truthfully. They're last in basically every offensive category if you've been watching them. Their at-bats are abysmal. They're absolutely terrible, minus that oddball game against the Orioles where they had 3 or 4 home runs, where Fletcher and Nicky Lopez both hit their first home runs of the season, so that was pretty funny. But give me the under 8.5 here. Our next one, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the New York Mets. Currently, no starter announced for the Reds. Mets rolling out Sean Manaea. I'm going to say I like the Mets, regrettably. This Reds team has kind of burned me a couple times here. Tough team for me to figure out, truthfully. I don't think they're very good, but they've been swinging it decently well as of late, making a lot more contact. They have a lot more contact guys in their lineup, and as a result, they're striking out a lot less, seeing more guys on base. So I do like the Mets on the money line here. I'm very curious who the Reds are going to put out here. So maybe hold off on that one, but for now, Mets on the money line. Our next one, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on Miami Marlins. Zach Wheeler versus Edward Cabrera. This is a Marlins team who gave Wheeler some fits earlier in the season. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think he pitches really well. Obviously, he gets a lineup who they don't have a lot right now. And at this point in the season, I don't really think they really give 2 shits. So for me, I like the Phillies here, minus 1.5. I don't lay run lines very often. I just think it's a good spot. Ever Cabrera, we all know. The command, not always going to be there. He's going to put guys on base. And this Phillies team seems like they're starting to find it a bit with the bats. So give me the Phillies -1.5.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Gold Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Gold Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Our next one, the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Atlanta Braves. Kevin Gausman versus Max Fried. So if there was ever a spot for Kevin Gausman to figure out his strikeout issues, it's probably against the Braves. That being said, he's been throwing a lot of fastballs, and I think he really struggles in this spot. Give me the Braves on the money line. We don't have a price for this game yet, which I'm a little surprised by, but Braves on the money line, I like them here. I think Fried pitches well against this Toronto team. I think Gausman struggles. Like I said, he's been throwing his fastball a lot more. Throwing his splitter and really not getting a lot of swings and misses on it because it just hasn't been a competitive pitch for him this season, not like in years past. Think he really struggles. Like I said, Fried, I mean, obviously Toronto, they've been swinging a bit better as of late, but they haven't really seen a lot of like quality lefties, and I think that's where like the difference comes in here. So I'll trust Fried to hold it down. I like the Braves on the money line. I think they get the win in this one. Our next one, the Los Angeles Angels taking on Texas Rangers. Samuel Algiri? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And taking on the Rangers, they had to announce a starter. So in this one, I looked at this game. I thought it was really odd. They had Texas priced at a -175 with no starter confirmed. So I have no choice but to just kind of ignore this game right now, truthfully, because -175 and no starter, who's it going to be? Is it it's priced like it's somebody good, but I have no clue. So for now, skip this game. I will drop something in the comments of this video and let you guys know when I'm playing this one. Our next one, the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Houston Astros. Brandon Pfaadt versus Framber Valdez. I am taking a shot here on the Diamondbacks. Once again at plus money. They burned us today if you were watching. Grabbed a lead early, ended up not scoring again. Giants squeaked out a run late to get the win, unfortunately. But right back to the Diamondbacks here. Plus money on the road. Brandon Pfaadt, I like him to pitch well against this Astros team. Obviously, this lineup can do damage, but they've been swinging really early in at bats and ultimately getting a lot of like pretty poor at bats, truthfully. And I think Pfaadt can take advantage of that. Framber, I mean, he's kind of running into a buzzsaw here if you're asking me. You got a Diamondbacks team who's crushing lefties as of late, and I think they get to Framber here. Framber hasn't been the Framber we're used to. This is a team that doesn't chase, so that curveball he's been throwing a lot, I don't think he's going to have a ton of success with it. And ultimately, I think the Diamondbacks do pick up a win here. Give me the D-backs on the money line. Our next one, the Minnesota Twins taking on the Kansas City Royals. Zebby Matthews versus Cole Reagans. So Zebby Matthews is a guy who I was pretty high on coming out of the minors. Unfortunately, he hasn't had like really a great matchup to kind of like showcase his K stuff. He's been getting a lot of K adverse teams, just kind of the luck of the draw, I guess. But I do like him to pitch well in this game. I do like the under here, under 7.5. I know it's an Apple TV game, so a lot of people always say those go over, but I don't see it. I think Zebby pitches well. I think Cole Reagans pitches well. This is a Twins team that's starting to strike out a lot more as of late as well. So I think it's a spot where he can take advantage. A little concerned about Kansas City putting up some runs, but even if they do, I think under 7.5 is still safe. I could see this game being like a 4-1 kind of final score, safely under the 7.5 number. Our next one, the Seattle Mariners taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Bryce Miller versus Eric Fetty. It's the Mariners for me here. It's really simple. I like Bryce Miller a lot. I know he struggled on the road, but this is a matchup here. The Cardinals, the bats, not swinging it the way they were earlier in the season. They've definitely cooled off as of late. I mean, Fetty, I think he pitches relatively well. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes under as well. But I do think ultimately Seattle picks up a win, like Bryce Miller, kind of just to take advantage of a line that's not hitting well right now. Seattle, we've seen them all season. One of the lowest batting averages in all baseball. So, I mean, it's a mixed bag with if you're going to get run support or not. But I do think they can get to Fetty at least here a little bit, get us 1 or 2 runs before they turn it over to the Cardinals bullpen, which in my opinion, if it's not going to Halsey for the closer, they're not good. So give me Seattle on the money line here. Our next one, the Detroit Tigers taking on the Oakland Athletics. Tariq Skubal versus Mitch Spence. Give me the Tigers -0.5 in the first 5. This is solely just a backing of Skubal. This Oakland team starting to strike out a lot as of late, if you've been paying attention. Looking like the Oakland team that we used to fade time and time again. I think Skubal just continues his dominance here. I like him to pitch really well in the first 5. Likely give up no runs. And I think the Tigers could at least sweep across 1 for us to get us across the finish line on this one. But really just think Skubal dominates this lineup. So Tigers -0.5 in the first 5. That's where I'm going. Hey guys, I just want to give a quick reminder that new users can bet $5 at FanDuel on any of the bets in this video and win $150 in bonus bets if the bet wins. Now let's get back to the bets. Our next one, the San Francisco Giants taking on the San Diego Padres. Giants have yet to announce a starter. Padres rolling out Michael King. I like Michael King's strikeouts here. I believe it's going to be set at 6.5. I would take that over 6.5. This is a game where I didn't find a ton of value in the sides. The Giants not having a starter makes it tough. And Michael King's a guy I've had a hard time backing on the money line because he will get his Ks, but he also will give up some runs from time to time. So I think the play here, I think it's his over Ks, like the over 6.5. At really any juice, truthfully. I'm obviously, if it's too juicy, pair it with something. But over 6.5 Ks for Michael King. Our next one, the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Dodgers. Matthew Boyd versus Landon Knack. I'm going with the over. So Matthew Boyd's a guy who, in my opinion, he came over from the Tigers. Maybe Cleveland fixes him. He's not fixed yet. Against this Dodgers team, I really think he struggles. I think they get some runs off of him relatively easy. And in Cleveland, I just like their bats against Landon Knack. This is a team who we all know, high contact team, and been swinging it really well as of late. 8.5 for me in this game, which is way too low. I think this thing soars over. That doesn't clear our slate, though. If you guys do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment. Before I go, though, I will give you guys my 3 best bets. So number 1, we are going to go with the Yankees money line. Number 2, we are going with the Braves money line. And number 3, we got to go back to the D-backs. Give me the D-backs money line as my 3rd best bet. As always, you can get all my official plays at goldboys.com. If you have a gambling problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you, guys.